There is a growing movement here in the United States as war rages on in the Middle East. It's called Dialogue Group, and the members are meeting in one another's living rooms for a chance to be heard about their frustrations, their fears, and once and for all, for listening to actually happen. Take a look. In a suburban San Francisco neighborhood, thousands of miles from the gunshots and violence of the Middle East, a group of Jewish and Palestinian Americans is giving up one night a month to meet, to look each other in the eyes, and to air their differences. This is the San Mateo Living Room Dialogue Group. Formed in 1992, it was created with the simple belief that an enemy is one whose story you haven't heard. And in the 10 years since, the group has made headlines and served as a model for dozens of new groups taking root throughout California and across the United States. The ground rules, Len says, are simple.
I'd say the most important fundamental agreement would be to be open.
But according to Libby, there are many misconceptions about what dialogue is, and more importantly, what it is not.
It is not conversation, which tends to be more social and shallow. It's not really discussion, because discussion kind of is ping-ponging ideas back and forth, thinking about what I want to tell you next. And it's certainly not debate, because debate is where I want to convince you to change your mind and come to my side.
The idea is what they call compassionate listening, even when you disagree with everything someone is saying. And their reason for meeting in a living room?
It's more cozy, it's more personal. It definitely provides a much safer kind of environment, and people are more free to open up.
It is perhaps ironic that only here, on neutral ground and far from home, that Holocaust survivors, Palestinian refugees, and Americans alike say that they have finally felt comfortable talking about the issues that divide them. And the impact of sustained dialogue is evident in people like Adi, a Jewish Israeli American who admits she used to be afraid of Arabs.
Even walking in a store, my assumption was this person hates me, this person wants to see Israel destroyed, to the point where an accent of someone Arab would frighten me. And it was through this work that I realized that was a very unconscious thought, and then I realized that certainly isn't the truth.
The impact of the dialogue also evident in Elias, one of the original Palestinian refugees whose family left their home back in 1948.
I know that there's somebody understand me better now, while before they didn't know me at all. I was a shadow. Now I'm a real human being.
When somebody loses his father in a war.
For Henriette, also a Palestinian American, being part of the dialogue group has been an opportunity to re-examine her lifelong beliefs.
Before I start a dialogue, I was like, oh, this is my land, and we're not supposed to share it with them. But when you sit down with them and you hear their story and they hear your story, you say, no, it's for both of us.
And for Ken, a Jewish American with family from Israel, the result is hope.
In part, it's an act of faith. If enough people do it, then eventually it will be the will of all people.
But the question remains, what good can a group of people who meet in California do for a conflict that is halfway around the world? For Len and the members of this dialogue group, the answer is clear.
We think that we really can send a light back across the ocean to the Middle East if we can show that it is not impossible for Palestinians and Jews to have a relationship and listen to one another finally.
From Marvin in Wakefield, Massachusetts, you did a story last night about Palestinians and Jews gathering in living rooms and listening to each other. This gave me more hope than anything I've seen or heard yet during this epic conflict. How can I find a group like this in my area? If there isn't one, how can I start one? This is a grassroots movement that must gather momentum. Thank you, Marvin. We have the address for you, and the website's also there. Thank you, everyone, for being with us for this version of A Region in Conflict. I'm Ashley Banfield reporting live. See you next week.